Hello children. In class 9, you will be introduced to a new subject, economics. Children, this term economy or economics is not new to you. You might have heard in news, newspaper or during discussion, like in today's context, because of corona pandemic, people are discussing about economic condition of the country or the economic condition of the world. Now, how to define economics? Children, to fulfill our day to day requirement, we deal with either goods or services. Now, what are goods? Goods may be product, items, or any material. And what are services? Services, for example, doctors, post office, teachers, courier service, railways, they are providing services which fulfill our day to day requirement. So, economics is a social science that studies about the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Children, your class 9 economics syllabus is divided into 4 chapters which deal with the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Students, we will get introduced to the basic concept relating to production using a story of a hypothetical village, means a imaginary village called Palampur. That is, we will start with the first chapter, the story of village Palampur. Let's first have an overview of the village Palampur. First, the main activity of the people in the village of Palampur is farming. Means most of the people are involved in farming. So farming is the main production activity here. Some other activities are performed by the people in village Palampur but are in small scale, like small scale manufacturing, dairy, transport, etc. These activities are carried out on a very small scale, means only few people are involved in these activities. Secondly, children, the village Palampur is well connected to its neighboring village and towns. Like Raiganj, a big village, is well connected by road to village Palampur, which is just 3 kilometers from Palampur. Then the nearest town Shapur is also well connected to Palampur. Many kinds of transport are visible on this road, like bullock carts, tongas, trucks, motor vehicle, jeeps, tractors are seen on this road. Now, secondly, the village has about 450 families. And out of this 450 families, 80 belongs to the upper caste. And they are the owners of the majority of the land in the village. These upper caste families, they live in a large house which are made up of bricks with cement plastering. And about 1/3 of the population of the village belongs to the SCs or Dalits. And they live in one corner of the village, and they live in a very small house which are made up of mud and straw. Children, most of the houses have electricity connections in the village. And this electricity is used in tube wells, in the field, and is also used in various types of small businesses. Palampur has 2 primary schools and 1 high school. Children, there is a primary health center which is run by the government and 1 private dispensary where the sick are treated. Now, from the above discussion, we can see that Palampur has a well-developed system of road, transport, electricity, irrigation, schools and health centers. So we come to the conclusion that Palampur is a well-developed village. Children, we have just discussed the various type of activities performed in village Palampur, in which farming is the main production activity. Now we will discuss the 4 main requirement of which are required to perform any production activity to produce goods and services. So the first requirement is land and other natural resources such as water, forest and minerals. Children, for example, to start any kind of production for goods or for services, what is the first thing that we need? What is the first thing that we need if we want to start an industry, if we want to start up a school, if we want to start up an office, if we want to start production in farming? That is the first thing required is land. So land is the first requirement of production. The second requirement of production is labor. Who are the labor? They are the people who will do the work. We need people who will do the work of production. So this labor can be classified into 2, skill and unskilled. For some production activities, we require highly educated workers who can perform the necessary task. For example, in a software company, we need some highly educated workers. We need some skilled people, educated people who can perform the work. And there are many other types of work also that can be performed that doesn't require the special skill or education to perform it. For any other type of industries also, if we can take a steel plant, example of our steel plant, there also we have workers, educated workers as well as the workers who can perform some manual work. So the second requirement of production is labor. The third requirement of labor is physical capital. What is physical capital? Physical capital are the variety of inputs that is required at every stage during production. For production, we need a variety of inputs are required. And this physical capital can be classified into 2 types, fixed capital and working capital. The fixed capitals are those inputs that can be used over many years. That means we don't need to buy these inputs for every production year. For example, generators, tools, machines, buildings, once we have purchased, that can be used for many production years. Do we need to buy machines every year? Do we need to buy the tools every year, every production year? No. That tools or machines or the buildings that is used for many years. So it is a fixed capital. Now what are working capital? They are the raw materials and money that is required. Now, other than fixed capital like machines, tools, we need some raw material also are required for the purpose of production. Like for example, in farming like generator, tube wells, tractors, these are the fixed capital that are required. But other than these, we also need fertilizers, seeds, pesticides, which are required to be purchased for every production year. For industries, for steel plant, iron ore, coal, these are the inputs that is required for every production year. So, physical capital are of two types, fixed capital and working capital. And the fourth requirement is human capital. For we need knowledge and enterprise to put together land, labor, and physical capital to produce an output. And this knowledge and enterprise is called human capital. More about human capital we will be studying we will learn more about human capital in the next chapter. Now, for every production, we need to combine land, labor, physical capital, and human capital. And the combination of these land, labor, physical capital, and human capital are known as the factors of production. That is all for today's session. In the next session, we will learn more about the first three factors of production with regard to the village of Palampur. Thank you.